It has been a hotly contested race, but now we can say with some degree of confidence, we believe we know the next CEO of the Walt Disney Company. Would you like to know who's taking the lead? Who will be the man who comes in behind the mousy messiah that is Bob Iger? Well, we'll share with you what we think is coming true right now.
Ever since Bob Iger returned to the Walt Disney Company, everyone has been speculating who is going to be the next CEO of the Walt Disney Company. Well, the first answer was, of course, Bob Iger renewing his contract. But now we know he has to pick a successor, and there were 4 people on that list originally. Jimmy Pitaro said, no, please, no. Alan Bergman came in, and, well, we have yet to see any indication he's actually running for CEO. Dana Walden is going into the Hollywood elites and making a big impression, but her associations with the Hollywood press and also the White House, or the possible White House that was to be, have kind of knocked her off of that top spot. The man we want to talk about today is Mr. Josh DAmaro here, who looks kind of like Bob Iger if you travel back in time and kind of squash him out a little bit there. Vash, what do you think about the possibility of Josh DAmaro, who seems to be rising in the ranks at the company, that he might just be the next CEO?
Oh, I think it's pretty likely right now, and I think it really started to turn for Josh DAmaro right after Abu Dhabi. That's when Josh DAmaro was really put out there. You had him with Bob Iger right there, doing some negotiations there with morale and the leadership out there in the United Arab Emirates in order to facilitate the construction of the 7th Disney theme park resort out there. And in such a prominent position. And also, too, remember, that was part of an earnings call announcement. So they really incorporate Josh DAmaro in more of the financial world, that portion of the Walt Disney Company that is so critical, obviously, in a manner that we hadn't previously seen before. We've seen Dana Walden. She's given speeches in various areas, but Josh DAmaro as well. He's been pushed out there at multiple conferences. I believe he just spoke at Moffett-Nathanson, if I'm not mistaken, right there. But he is, really shepherded Disney's message right there for South by Southwest and multiple parks panels and so forth. They're putting it out there, and they're putting it out there in a big way. And apparently now he's attending yet another media event after being seen on Netflix.
So he is covering the media side of this, but what would be the main reason as a shareholder that someone might point to Josh DAmaro as the next CEO of the Walt Disney Company?
Well, I mean, as a shareholder, I do believe if you look at all of the silos for the Walt Disney Company, right, and you see the performance of all of those different industries that Disney happens to be in, whether it's, sports, entertainment, media, linear assets, all of that, the only division that's really doing exceptionally well is the parks division. And we say that understanding that the parks division itself isn't even doing all that well, but it is at this point right now doing better than a lot of the other industries that Disney happens to take part in.
The crazy part about all of this is that Josh DAmaro is the beneficiary of 2 things. And the first is the response following the pandemic, where families decided they were not going to lose the opportunity to take their kid to see the castle. Whatever it took, they were going, because there was a fear that this could happen again. And so people wanted to be outside. They wanted to be happy. They wanted to be with their family. They wanted to be around other people. And so the Disney parks exploded. The second thing that he's a beneficiary of course, is going to Abu Dhabi and saying, hey, you guys want to build us a park for free? I mean, it's not free for you, but we'll take it. And them saying, oh, heck yeah, we'll build a Disney park over here. That has put Josh DAmaro in a strange position. The parks have never been, in my estimation, as weak as they are today. They are IP slop in many ways. They have made controversial DEI decisions that will impact them for decades and will damage them. They've become overly reliant on extricating every single Benjamin they can from your wallet once you're in there, to the point that it becomes nauseating, frustrating, and you don't want to go back again. You don't tell your family members, yeah, we had a great time. They gave us more than we possibly could have ever hoped for. That used to be the way that Disney was. It is no more. So what does that mean? Well, it means that Josh DeMauro is living off the legacy of the post-pandemic surge, while at the same time, they've had the nerve to destroy so much of the stuff that people loved about the Disney parks. And now we're seeing in the last 6 months, 12 months, a major decline in attendance. Josh DeMauro, some might say, is a guy who was told to do these things. But I say he's also, in one other way, a little bit lucky. None of the other 3 candidates for the CEO position internally have any chance now of becoming the CEO, at least as far as we can tell. So go, Josh, go. DeMauro winning by default.
I totally agree with what you've just said here. And the article, if you want to go dig deep into this on That Park Place by WDW Pro here.
Don't know that guy. Never heard of him.
The next Disney CEO is almost definitely Josh DeMauro, even as Bob Iger faces major theme park troubles. And we're hearing from some of our contacts in the Middle East. Well, that's something I never thought I would say on this channel. Let me specify some of our contacts in Abu Dhabi and with the Baral group.
Just because you got to ride a camel one time does not mean you get to say we have contacts in the Middle East. And frankly, it's disturbing.
It was a lovely camel. It was a Bactrian. Anyhow, much better than a dewback. The thing with Josh DeMauro and everything that he's been handed, this 7th theme park is something that actually will appeal to shareholders more than it will to average guests. Because whatever happened here with Shanghai Disney, that's something that Bob Iger had to work for many, many years. And this Miral theme park is something that has literally dropped into Josh DeMaro's lap, and it will not be a Disney park. In our research on Miral, I actually found out that when you're going to the Warner Brothers Land and the Ferrari World place, you buy your tickets in the same place, in the same way that you buy for Animal Kingdom and Epcot and Magic Kingdom and Hollywood Studios in the same place. You would buy presumably a Disney Abu Dhabi ticket in the exact same place that you buy tickets for Harry Potter World at Warner Brothers Yas Island. That's not the official name here.
Isn't it amazing, Jonas, that we called that on day one?
Yes.
Other people, I mean, the mainstream media, my gosh, and the cupcakers and the pixie dusters. Some of you want us to call them the Cupcake Crusaders. I might be on board with that. They all reported it as if, the next Disneyland was coming to the world. And we were like, no, none of this. The size doesn't work. What they're saying they're going to build. We're finding out that it's all going to be an interior space, essentially. And we knew it was a bunch of junk. It was bunk. But it drove the stock price and might have put DeMauro into the front position for CEO.
Yeah, that definitely will not be an outdoor theme park in any way, because there are times of year in which it is illegal to work outside during
dang hot.
Exactly. Vash?
Much harder than Florida, by the way. Do you think that the timing of that deal and when that actually was, I don't know, put forward and have it attached to the earnings call, especially at a quarter that we were all predicting that would be very, very low for the Walt Disney Company? Do you think it's kind of been orchestrated by Bob Iger in order to place Josh DeMauro in the front position? Understand he can't necessarily pick his successor at this point, but I think, maybe he does want him to carry on the Iger legacy there.
I think that there's a little bit of that, but I would put forward the theory that they did try to put Dana Walden up as the next CEO candidate, because he would love to crash that glass ceiling for you, milady, with Dana Walden. Pro, what do you think about the idea of Dana Walden perhaps being the ideal choice from an ideological standpoint for Bob Iger versus Josh DeMauro?
Dana Walden failed the mission. She's done. The whole thing, all the legacy media was wishing for Kamala, and Dana is besties with Kamala, and she was supposed to manage to make that happen with the ABC News debate. It blew up in their faces. We've seen the legacy media crumble as a result. We've seen lawsuits, one after the other, be successful for the Orange Man. And so, not to get political folks on this channel, but just to say, Dana does not have any chance anymore, because there's one thing they hate more than you being of a different political mindset, and that is losing the cause for their political mindset. They will ostracize you faster. They will cast you out, and there is no redemption arc. Dana still gets to be there because she fits all the the right boxes, but in terms of being in the lead, no. And Pitaro and the other guy, what's the other guy? Jonas, his name escapes me for the moment.
Alan Bergman.
Yeah, none of those, they don't have a chance. So it was always going to be either DAmaro or Walden or an external candidate, and that's where we are right now. And I would add this one more thing about Josh DAmaro. You know, this is a guy who we have heard is very kind, very personable. He's good-willed and all of that. So good for him. You know, we're happy he's nice, allegedly. That said, I don't think that putting a guy in charge of the entire company who has led the parks down the path that they're on, I don't think this is going to go well for Disney. And I think that I think this could be a rough patch. And I really hope that's not the case. But I don't want to see another Chapek situation. It could go that way.
It has the potential to go that way. And I think Hollywood's embrace of Josh DAmaro will always be with the understanding that, well, the last theme park guy we got from Disney treated us this way. Are you going to necessarily be any different? That is always going to be the sticking point, at least with the more media-driven side of the business right there. You know, we've seen, I think, a quote featured, not even a quote really, it was a report featured in the Hollywood Reporter suggesting that Iger was telling the candidates, you got to be more aggressive, right? What we see in Variety from Josh DAmaro, we've been relentless in our pursuit to bring IPs and franchises to the parks and so forth. I think Josh DAmaro, he is being a little bit more aggressive because I think he also understands that he's in that top spot as well. But go ahead, Jonas.
Real quick, I want to ask Jonas, before you get going. Hey there, little red, I see you. Hey, Jonas, before you get started, I do want to say, how funny would it be if Josh DAmaro gets in as the CEO and suddenly we have Pixar protests again, Lucasfilm protests about don't say you know what in the Abu Dhabi districts. You know, can you imagine if Abu Dhabi or they pass something, you know, and they all get out on the sidewalks of Burbank to protest it and demand Josh DAmaro do something like they did with Chapek? Oh, boy.
Benefit of hindsight says that he won't even comment on that. You know, here's the interesting thing. I think that no CEO in history will be given as much license as Josh DAmaro will be given, and he probably won't use any of it.
That's right. Vanilla, thy name is DAmaro.
Well, we just want to say, any comments before we wrap this up, gentlemen?
I like you guys. I'm glad we didn't get a fight today about Disneyland versus Disney World. That was a good thing.
What? Is there something wrong with Disney World there versus Disneyland? It's so much larger and so much more spacious, and not in the middle of California.
Size is that's a fair point.
Take that. Ah, Thor is here.
But there's always my way. That being said, thank you everyone for being here on That Park Place. If you haven't done it yet, it really does help the channel out for you to hit the like button. Even if you hit the dislike button, it still helps us out. If you want to drop a comment down below telling us why Walt Disney World is better than Disneyland Resort out in Anaheim, those are helpful as well. And of course, if you haven't done it yet, consider subscribing to That Park Place for all the news that should be fun.
Jump into the water!
Why listen to music made by people and companies who really don't like you? Check out Vacation Radio today and prepare for all new content made by the people behind the WDW Pro channel. It's the place you need for all the music. That should be fun. Hundreds of songs, every genre you can imagine. Listen live on YouTube and enjoy a set list that's always sunny. It's Vacation Radio. What are you waiting for? Every WDW Pro video has a link to Vacation Radio in the video description. Try it out and subscribe today.